Okay, so first of all, I want to find out how to change the name of a sheet. So I just go to here. Oh, by the way, you asked the question, so I added into my code target equals high. Okay, that's what you asked, right? So over here I'm using the period to get into the מאפיינים.
Features.
Not features, that's not the word, but into the things that you could change relevant to the range. But you also can use the equals. And if I put over here target equals high, then every place I press, it turns into red and it adds the high.
Right.
Okay? So that's in regard to what you asked.
Gotta be high.
Okay, now I'm going to record a macro and I'll call it change sheet name. Okay? And all I'll do over here is go over here and change the sheet's name just to see how to write the code. Okay? Now, when I go and I open the module, because recording, that's a regular macro, it's not a event-driven macro. Then here, I could see that you take the sheet dot name and you change. Okay? So what do I need to do? I need to get from the user what is the name that he wants to give the sheet. How do I get that?
Input box.
Input box. And then I need to change the name of the sheet using this. But I don't want to use sheet 1. Okay? I'm going to use the active sheet. So if you want to see how it looks like, there's the solution of A right over here. Okay, so workbook, and the event. What event am I going to use? So I go into, I want every time I add a sheet, right? So this workbook, adding a sheet you do in the workbook. It's not relevant to a specific sheet, but it's adding into the workbook a new sheet. So I go into the workbook events. Okay, if here it says general, you need to go into the workbook, and then all of the workbook events show up over here. And over here, every time a new sheet is added, that's the event that I want that will drive my code. And in here, okay, I put my input box and my active sheet dot name, okay, just like this. So that's how to do A if you didn't succeed, and if you did, now continue to B and C.
When you run the macro, as in when you record the macro, it doesn't do it as an active sheet. Could you do it with that still? You just have to change.
There's another way to do it, much easier,
Which is
using, just like we did before, target. We use the variable of the event.
okay.
You can use also the variable in.
Yeah, that's I did.
That's what you did. Okay, fine.
That's
In the new sheet, there's a variable as an object. SH as an object. Here, I'll show you.
That's what. And then equals your. Didn't work.
That's it, yeah.
Still don't work.
Oh, my issue was.
Okay, so this is the new sheet by val sh as object. Sh is the new sheet. Okay, so I just write sh.name equals input box, just like I did over here where I used target.interior. I took the target from here, .interior.color VB red. The same thing, I do it over here. I use the sh from the code, .name equals input box.
Do you have to call this a macro? Like when I play it, I'm not getting it. When I try to run it, I'm not getting anything.
Right?
What?
Right, that's exactly what we said. You cannot run this from running it from over here. The only way for it to work is
Doing it, the event, doing the event.
doing the event. This is an event-driven macro. The only way to run the macro is by doing the
I
event.
see. I see what you mean.
So that means if we went back right now and changed the sheet, what would happen?
If we went
Back into the workbook and we changed the name of the sheet, what would happen?
nothing.
So what's the point of this code then?
We're doing now is
Now, when you add a new sheet,
I click on a name on that.
Ah, then when I'll add a new sheet, I gotcha.
Like, this is very basic, but I'm lost because I'm looking for an object and I can't find it on the website, and I can't even find that. How's that working?
you go over here, look for new sheet. I think here is new sheet.
Oh, it's not according to what's inside here.
No, this is workbook open. This is workbook new sheet. This is
Once you're here, you can choose all the different times.
this
of
is
that. So for example,
worksheet selection change. This is this is something that you use when you choose this kind of thing.
So what does that mean? What's written in here? Anything? Like, nothing that we're supposed to understand?
Right. Just know that you can use this as a variable. And this is
Between the bival and the as whatever action it's going to do, I can use it. If I have the sh like you were explaining, I can say sh, which is the sheet, dot name, then I could, then I don't even need to record
target.
macro essentially.
No. If you know dot name, you don't need to report the macro. The recording macro was to see how the hell do I change the name of the sheet. So I see over here it says, okay, I need to
That's just a basic
specify the
build
sheet.
of how you make
Right.
that. But like the sheets could just be a different variable, you don't need to write sheet.
Right.
Thing.
So a macro just helps you
otherwise, just choose that.
to remember or recall or learn how to write the code.
Okay, thank you.
But then you change it according to what you want.
For some reason, Ellie, it's not running it for me. It tells me I have an invalid string name, which is weird.
Right. Okay, so what you're saying before is this is a macro. The rest of the play is not gonna do anything. Because we're not recording.
Occurs every time there is a right click in the first
How do I
worksheet.
run this? If I open up a sheet,
It's not working.
well, I can do it well. We'll figure it out, I'll figure it out.
If you don't get rid of that, then it'll always do it.
Yeah, essentially. Well, no, that's good. We want that. Try to find a option. Here, before save. Okay, so message run.
So there's right click on the first worksheet.
I can make this red, and then the gas looks like this, and I get rid of it like this.
Shoot. So I don't know what I'm doing yet, but that's essentially what we're trying to do.
Just turn red and
I just have to figure it out somehow. Oh, because there's a lot of.
No, you can't.
That's the point where
You can't do this. Has no, you can't
There's a right
call
click.
it value.
you put the whole thing and do this. Prior was a workbook new sheet, and it said this is essentially the
That's why I tried.
where we had all the variable data and things. So this is
But you
essentially
don't need-
SH is your
You
new
don't
sheet.
need that?
That's the name of your new sheet, SH. SH is an object, which is a new
Okay, I'll
sheet.
figure it out.
There's a right click in
You
the page.
have
Write a procedure that
SH
occurs.
already declared.
Write a procedure that-
All you have to
It'll
do
ask me,
is SH
oh, I thought.
dot name.
So maybe it's because it's book one. There we go.
SH is the variable, dot name.
There. Now it works, we save.
You don't need the sheet select and all the rest.
No. So this I don't need?
Well, I think you were doing that.
Oh, because that's already the code is that.
But that's how.
Like that's a new sheet.
Point is, so what I want, so I wanted to ask him what it is.
The procedure will show word procedure that occurs every time there is a click in the right
That is
worksheet.
basically adding the new sheet.
Why?
That is the new
But
sheet.
how does it know?
As
That's
it
the
occurs
code.
every
That's
time
it
there is a
there.
right
It's
click
already
in the
written,
first
they
chart
coded
sheet.
for you.
And then it knows to make that the name?
No, when you write sh dot name, you say.
Oh, dot name.
Maybe those are-
There are other things to do. What else can you do?
Then we have to put the name into that, into this sheet.
Or you have to put it on that.
Right.
Thank you.
Because it's gonna ask you what's in the sheet.
Yep, Noah, could you give me for a second?
And
Yeah, of course.
so we have to put it into that.
For some reason, it's not working for me. Like I have this, I make a new, careful.
I always do that whenever I
fine.
come to you.
I make a new one and just like it says the name's not
Okay, one
qualified.
second. Dim new name.
Essentially what's saying is just.
You don't have to dim anything.
I don't?
No.
That's nothing you have
Take
to.
That-
sheet,
No, that's wrong.
putting sheet
This
dot name.
does all the work that you
No,
need.
So just SH name?
I ran-
SH dot name.
Recorded a macro.
sh dot name, then sh.
You don't even need that.
Just explain.
I don't
don't need
need
that.
I don't need this up here?
No, why?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that does it. Dot name makes it that that's going to be the name of the sheet.
So if
So
I,
get rid of the dim,
I did. Oh, it's
Well,
because.
that's what-
Didn't
and that's all you need. Let me before you run it. Let me explain why. That
Yeah.
the sh as object is already doing all the programming for you. Now, what's going to make it know that you want it to be the name of the thing? Sa, which is your as object, dot name. But you could have done sh dot
Copied it.
something else would have made a different.
Difference is though,
Basically, what you said before, there's a million ways to do the thing, but he makes it like he teaches us the shortest way.
SH. You want to just do whatever our new sheet is, not specific sheet.
Okay, so then 1 second. If I run it now.
Write a new sheet.
Ah,
All that, I feel like you're a genius right
Okay.
ah, awesome.
Got it?
Did you do the next one yet, or?
And then I did. We understand that why it does that. That's all the program. And then just dot name which was made.
How do we, what's it called? Elliot, on the workbook, are we allowed to open up another procedure underneath it? Or do we have to erase this one and save it?
Under what?
Now that we're working in the workbook, and like I want to have like for this class, like I like
Yeah, you can
have.
have many events.
How do I put the next event inside? It's like it's weird.
Choose event, choose another event from your list of
I just have to
events.
choose an event. That's it. What is this event called? I tried looking for it. It's not before clicking. It's actually clicking.
Right click.
It's just right click.
No, look for the event that next to right click.
It's gonna put in.
Before right click, after right click.
So again,
This is the minute of right click. There's no. This doesn't say before or after. It says the second it clicks.
put it as a new sheet.
Every time there is a right click in the first worksheet.
In
Okay.
order to define SH, you want to.
So it's after. So it's after. No.
The name for it.
Is there any after click?
SH.
I remember the name. You're in sheet, right?
And the only reason I knew this is because I recorded a macro and.
It's a sheet event.
Ah, it's a sheet event. It's not a workbook
That's what
event.
we're, all we're doing.
No, it happens in a specific sheet. You already right click. The workbook or
It's better to do it in the workbook. No.
there is events that relate to workbook. Only to all the sheets, the workbook. The file workbook. There are
Okay.
events that are relevant to a specific sheet. When you right click, you right click on the whole workbook or in a specific sheet.
When you do what?
Probably the specific sheet.
Go ahead and do it, please. Right click in your workbook someplace. Where did you do it?
Well, it's usually on a cell. It's in a sheet.
Where, okay, so specific sheet. So that's a worksheet event.
So that's.
Save, you don't do in a specific sheet.
Yeah, save is clearly.
So that's a workbook.
Got
Got
it.
it?
Got it.
Yes.
So before, how to change it.
You asked the wrong guy, brother. Everyone else in this class knows exactly what they're doing.
You get the point.
איזה חמוד אתה, well, not everyone's class is doing. I don't. די, נו.
What was it? Defining variance, right? So this is
Telling you what the problem is.
it's saying that this new sheet. No, I did it like this, as unique like this, but as in, this is a different way of doing dim. Like, it's a necessary way.
Yehuda, which event did you use after click? There's no after click, is there? Which event did you use for part B? What? No, not for A, for B. Oh, you're doing B right now.
Is a type of this, it's a variable. Right. You can change this, you can change the sheet, and you can use SH. Exactly. And all we did was activate.
I
I don't think there is one.
And another
A vision that occurs every time there's a right click in the first worksheet. On the first worksheet.
So you just wish that we were more like.
Well, not SH, SH. Name, name has your name.
I don't think there is one that's after. All of them are before right click.
I said look for something that has right click in it. Okay, who got the second one?
Where is it?
Did anyone get the second one?
I try it.
That occurs every time there's a right click in the first worksheet. The procedure will show a message.
Procedure will show online.
Message box.
User targets out row and target out.
Right click on a line. ¿Cuál es esa?
No, it's not even a sheet. I mean, I guess, because something that says right click. Okay, fine. It's only right, it's only that says right click.
Target. Target row. Target column.
I don't know what you mean by, I don't know what you mean by that. What's the question? Prior to the projection of the right click.
Yes,
Procedural
here.
short message.
Did anyone finish B yet? Number of the columns. The procedure will show message right click on the line.
We'll show them as a right.
Okay, let's see how we do B.
I just don't understand what you want in this question. I think plus line number and number of columns that thing that you're currently
What line and what column
is the right click on.
is the right click on?
So what? Okay, it's fine. Target.
Okay. Write a procedure that occurs every time there is a right click in the first worksheet. Okay? So I need to find an event that's related to a right click in the first worksheet. So I go over here and I double click on sheet 1, which is the first worksheet in my case. I make sure that I'm in worksheet, okay? So this opens the events. And I look over here for something that's related to right click. So if I go up over here, I see before right click is an event, okay? So I can choose this, and here we have before right click, and I have a target as range, which is just like before the target, which is the cell in which I right clicked, and cancel as boolean, meaning it could be true or false. Okay? Now let's go back. So I have my event. The procedure would show a message. Right click on line, which is in quotations, meaning this is what has to show, plus the line number, and column, again with quotations, and the number of the column. Okay, target.row and target.column. It already says that.
Could you have those inside of a message box?
So, message box. Right click on. And now I need to write line, which line? So I write target dot and row. Line is a row, right? Here we go. And just for the fun of it, let's add VB new line. Remember what this does?
Makes it the next line of
And
It's Chinese. No surprise.
I add over here and column. And target dot column. Okay, and now every time I right click, nothing happens. Why?
You're on sheet
I'm
1.
not in the first sheet. If I go into the first sheet and I right click, I get a message, right click on line 4 and column 19. Now I want a space between the line and 4, so what would I do? I go back over here and put a space after line and put a space after column. Okay? And if I right click on I1, then it says right click on line 1 and column 9. Okay? And then I get the menu of the right click. Questions?
Can you go back to the,
It'd be very inconvenient.
This is the code.
It would be much more inconvenient to do, but could you also just set target.row as a variable? As in saying that like x equals target.row and y equals target.column, put that in the message box? It's inconvenient, I'm just saying I'm just trying to figure out like practically how these, like how to do these.
Love use.
I don't understand the question. What you said would work. This works. What's
That's
it?
what I'm asking if what I said would work.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that's the second one. Please do this one and go to the third one.
Why was Boolean relevant for that part of the question?
It wasn't.
So why is it like part of the code?
That's automatically what you get.
Mm.
You can use it or not use it. In the next we'll see how we can use the Boolean cancel.
Okay. What a problem that occurs every time the workbook is closed.
My mother always said, never hang out when there's a phone.
Closed. There's network is closed.
So you're the Boolean one. Well,
Workbook is closed. What do you know? Open. After close. No. Fine, okay.
after keep new line, you need to put in and, correct?
Yeah. Alright, so for close, let's see, display the message shortly. Message. Sure you want to leave? Buttons, okay, cancel. How do we get access to the buttons? And
Which VP has that okay and cancel? I tried the okay cancel, always okay.
Message box,
Yeah, I did that.
you can have a message box with OK cancel.
I know, but it's not working. For some reason, it's not listed. No, I have, there's default button. VB okay cancel. So whenever I do VB okay cancel equals true,
maybe.
right?
No, VB OK cancel equals true.
That's what it says on the PowerPoint, no?
No,
Oh, just VB okay cancel?
Cancel. Let's press the workbook closed.
Weird.
Can we figure out which one to use every time?
So you just have to do cancel equals true at the below the message box, Kino?
Sure, did you get it? Do you know which one to use when the workbook is closed?
I just started for it.
It's before close.
Yeah.
Before
Oh,
close.
before.
no, not just like that. You
Then
need to
what-
check what the user chose.
Which one do you use?
You write OK or cancel.
No, it's not close.
So then how do you check that inside of the message box? It has to be outside the message
No,
box.
outside of it.
Yeah. How do you do if OK is pressed though? Let's do a macro.
Okay, so this is going back to something we learned when we learned message boxes, which is in presentation 2, I think, or something like that. 2 or 3.
Watch this.
After the quotes.
How do you when OK is pressed? Do you guys figure out how to do when OK is pressed in the code?
It just wasn't online.
Okay, let's see how to do the last one. Anyone